The land of wonders. With lots of anticipation about what awaits me, I'm landing in the early morning hours in the south of Oman, a region on the edge of the world's biggest sand desert, yet fertile and green in summer, with fog and waterfalls just 10 kilometers from the incredible heat of Arabia, with deserted dream beaches and almost chilly waters, with friendly people and with camels on the beach, in the mountains and everywhere else, the land of frankincense, Salalah. So here we are in Salalah, in the land of wonders, and what I'm wondering now is why I actually didn't think about what to do in this moment. It's 3:45 a.m. and so there's still some time left until I can check in somewhere. Anyway, I'm gonna rent the car right now, and then in the meantime I need to make a plan. I've reached my decision. I'm not only driving my rental car into the sunrise, but let's start the day with a trip to Jabal Samhan first thing in the morning instead of later in the day, with a view of the Sea of Clouds and the Arabian Sea. The Land of Wonders itself is a small stretch of land measuring approximately 150 by 15 kilometers in the Dawkah region between the Arabian Desert and the Arabian Sea. Between June and September, the Khareef monsoon sweeps just past the cliffs of the region, gifting the small area with humidity that changes everything. Surrounded by the dry heat of the Arabian desert, Salalah gets suddenly unrealistically green and not extremely hot. Wow, this is just so beautiful here. All these shades of green, so beautiful. And then in the morning you have the mist in the morning and all the flowers here, just so beautiful. And then on the contrary you have cow's dung, cow shit on the street every second you drive through one. So the beauty of the countryside makes up for it. This is just unbelievable. This looks like the most beautiful countrysides in Africa, and I imagine like this, like the most beautiful parts of Ethiopia and Kenya, Tanzania. Of course I know in South Africa we have something similar, but this is just unbelievably beautiful. I'm so stunned, really stunned. So I saw a whole, flock, I think, a flock of camels, and not for tourists, but real, with their owners, and that was so special. That was already worth the trip, really. But we're going to somewhere else now, to a really very beautiful spot, I think, and I'm so curious now. Isn't this beautiful? Listen. There's nothing, just some insects and a bird. Completely alone, and you have a view, a world-class view, and there's nobody. It's like a view like from the Table Mountain, Cape Town, but without people. From the viewpoint, I'm heading down to the beach that we just spotted from above. A detour to Mirbat, a village with a small fortress and a dreamy beach that, as usual in the region, nobody goes to. This place is ideal for a little relaxed hour in the morning because it's still only 9 a.m. After some time in this sleepy, tourist-free place by the sea, it's finally late morning, and with my eyes concentrating on some very special oncoming traffic on the highway, I'm heading to the small village by the sea where my Airbnb is located. After almost 30 hours without sleep, I almost fell asleep while driving, and that would have been a real shame. So I caught up some sleep, and here it is, my Airbnb for 3 days. Especially on a short trip, it's nice if your luggage is not delayed, but I always have the most important things for the first day in my hand luggage. My reliable travel partner on this trip was once again luggage by my sponsor Level 8, with suitcases that I can highly recommend and that have accompanied me for over a year and a half now. Despite really bad treatment from my side, they are still as good as on the first day, and thanks to the special layout and the great interior, even larger items can be packed into the Level 8 Voyager, and the extra handle on the front means that the fully packed suitcase won't cause any back pain when lifting it into the trunk. There's also a matching Voyager carry-on, or look at the elegant aluminum carry-on named Gibraltar. Both are just as high quality inside as they are outside, and they roll effortlessly on their smooth wheels. With a link in the video description and the exclusive TravelSync code, you can get all of Level 8 items with an extra discount. Simply click and enter the discount code when checking out, and then enjoy some great new luggage. Despite the view, I completely fell asleep here for a few hours, but just before dusk, let's check out one place nearby. Well, it's pretty stunning how the fog is coming up the hills in the evening. The fog from the sea, and I mean, of course the hills are all green if there's so much humidity coming in. Anyway, we're going to a very special place now, and that's a gravity zone where gravity is a little different from everywhere else. So let's see about that. I'm really curious now. Gravity Point is supposedly a place where gravity is slightly suspended. You're supposed to leave the car on with the brakes being disengaged, and it moves slightly uphill, they say. So I didn't see much gravity things here, but that makes up for it. Some people claim to have seen the gravity phenomenon. I only saw camels. But there's another more realistic natural spectacle just around the corner and next to a waterfall that's used as a swimming pond, a gorge with baobab trees, which are otherwise found only in Africa and Madagascar. It's so beautiful and quiet here, so peaceful. There's this little creek going down the hill, and you have these beautiful majestic baobab trees. Look at this, so special. What a special atmosphere. And what I didn't see, actually, I thought this is the big tree, but no, actually it's over here. I oversaw it because it's so big. That's bigger than a really big living room. Just before it's dark, it's time to head back to civilization. There are of course also malls in Salalah where you can, let's say, watch locals, but one thing you simply cannot miss are the markets, especially when it comes to frankincense. Salalah and the Dawkah region are the land of the frankincense tree, from which frankincense has been shipped all over the world, even as far as China, since ancient times. The variety of qualities is pretty large. The most expensive green frankincense can be used for medical purposes. You can chew it, and it has strong anti-inflammatory properties. And then there's of course frankincense that's only meant to be burned. You will find fragrant woods as well, which are also used to create fragrant rooms in the houses.
Hello everyone, come here, visit us and test it. Yes. Okay. Peace.
So I got my bags with frankincense and the pots where you put them in, and of course charcoal, because you need to burn it. So just filled up the car from empty to full, and the whole tank was 9.5 Rial. That's 24 Euros.
Dem Straßenverlauf von 1 Kilometer folgen.
Our second day begins with this view and a coffee by this beautiful deserted beach. Now, isn't this just a phenomenal beach? This is just so beautiful. When you're going on the highway, there is traffic control every couple of kilometers, and actually, if you use Google Maps, there's a little sound signal every time before the traffic control comes, so you're gonna be warned. Maximum speed is 120 kilometers an hour, and that's on the highway, and of course, otherwise as signaled. I'm not a big fan of cliches, but the friendliness of the people here is so clear to see. That's so striking, actually. I mean, it started already with the immigration. When I talked to the immigration officer, the only thing he said, well, have a beautiful time in our country. That never happens. When I enter the States, for example, it's like being treated almost like a criminal, not very friendly. Also other countries like the United Arab Emirates, it's like, I don't care what happens with you. That's the feeling you get when you go there, as in a general, of course. There's always exceptions. But if you're lucky, they just are very indifferent. Not here, very, very friendly. And in general, when you go around the city and go shopping or just go around and look a little at the other people, they're so friendly with each other, with a very special, soft and beautiful smile that I've never seen in that way. When I went to the market, when I don't want to buy something, they're still very friendly, and it's not like next please, but they have this beautiful way of talking, a very elegant way of smiling, of being friendly with each other. And of course there's always exceptions, yes, and of course we cannot forget that the rules here are different. They are not liberal laws here, and it's not a liberal country, so to speak, in a western meaning, but yeah, the society is still very attached to their traditions. I don't think I need to say more. You all know what I mean. I'm on my way to Ain Al Khor, a wadi or valley with a very beautiful waterfall with turquoise pools. But the first obstacle is, once again, camels. Visiting Salalah and not seeing camels is absolutely impossible. But the waterfall of the Wadi Ain Al Khor doesn't seem to want me today. Another obstacle makes this trip too risky. If I had a four-wheel drive car, which I don't, I could go upriver here, but that would involve crossing the river in the car, and even some four-wheel drives don't make it. They just get stuck. So we just gonna be fine with watching the pictures and see the other waterfalls without this kind of river crossing. Yeah. So it's off to the next highlight of the day. Past a lagoon, I'm driving to the beautiful Mughsail beach. Here again, there's no tourists, no swimmers, but ultra stylish, modern and clean restrooms. Short stop here at yet another empty and beautiful beach, Mughsail Beach or Muksal Beach, however you pronounce it exactly. Just very beautiful, so many beautiful beaches and nobody here. Just west of Muksal Beach are the blowholes, What looks like geysers right by the sea are actually caves in the cliffs where the ocean shoots its seawater through little holes, and all surrounded by the spectacular scenery of this area.
Well, these blowholes are just so spectacular, they're really fun to watch. Of course, always the biggest fountain, the biggest geyser, so to speak, comes when you turn around or don't have the camera on. But above all that, you more or less forget about how beautiful the rest of the landscape here is. It's just such a beautiful, spectacular coastline. Yeah, I'm actually speechless, even though I talk so much.
We're continuing along the road that would lead further into war-torn Yemen. Of course, I turn off early enough and we're driving to yet another dream landscape with a dream beach that are waiting for us today. However, the journey there involves quite a risky drive over steep gravel roads that require some driving experience, at least in a regular limousine. Also, I better left German caution and German regulations back in Germany. But if you try this road, you'll be rewarded big time. Beautiful Fazayah Beach stretches across several bays and it's almost deserted. And also here I'll be the only one swimming in the sea.
That was so beautiful. The water is actually chilly. It's not warm or hot or anything like the Andaman Sea or something like that. It's really, really chilly, but in a nice way, like the Mediterranean Sea in October maybe. Really, really nice. And I mean, the beach is so beautiful. It's like nature beach, but that doesn't mean it's like full of rubbish, but it's just stones and there's a dead seabird and that's nature, but just beautiful. What a stunning beach. It's so amazing, all the things that you get to see here. First of all, of course, the very bumpy road. There's so many potholes here in this road. It's pretty incredible. So it's nothing for light nerves and or for unexperienced drivers. You should actually also have a four-wheel drive car here. I'm very courageous now to go on a regular limousine car here, but anyway, that's another topic. The beach is so beautiful. It has such a soft, super fine sand, white sand, just very beautiful. And I mean, where do you see camels on the beach? Not as a tourist attraction, but just because they are there, and groups of camels. And then you have this beautiful, beautiful scenery. Oh yeah, and the sea also is really chilly. It's not a warm tropical sea, not at all. It's just very nice and refreshing.
The area also has numerous sinkholes, that's large craters in the cavernous rock created by erosion. I want to see at least one of them, however it wasn't possible to really see the bottom of this sinkhole because of the vegetation around. Still, the silence and nature are beautiful, and I have yet one last place on my list for today, Jabal Shaat Viewpoint, just before sunset.
What a beautiful spot here. This Shaat viewing point, really very beautiful. Far above the clouds, much farther above the sea, and I mean now in the evening there's more clouds coming in, and again really very beautiful. No wonder that the families here, local families, use this here as a weekend excursion. It's just very beautiful.
Because of all the places I want to see and show, I haven't had the chance to eat all day since my morning coffee, so it's time to finally explore the local cuisine in a restaurant serving Omani and Yemeni dishes. And of course, they also serve what's most popular here.
So it's 10:15 p.m. and I'm having my first food of the day. I didn't have breakfast, I just had a cappuccino and skipped breakfast. First of all to save calories and also to save time so I can shoot as much as possible, and then there was just no time to eat in between the hours of filming and driving to film more. So here I'm having dinner at this Yemenite restaurant. It's food from Yemen, and I mean Yemen is just very close here, the border is very close to here, but of course it's rather difficult to enter, so I'm gonna have at least food from Yemen, and starting with this very beautiful camel shawarma. That's Yemenite cuisine and also cuisine of Oman. There's not many countries that serve camel as a dish, and they do. And then I have some fattoush salad and some house-made bread. And I also got a tour of the kitchen already. That was so nice. I didn't ask for it, they offered it. And so nice to see all that really beautiful place.
Free for you.
Really?
Yeah, it's a camel.
The people here once again super nice, with a candid hospitality that you only get without mass tourism. And I also had the chance to see more than just my table. They invited me to see the kitchen.
Very good. I get all kinds of things not to eat.
How are you? Welcome.
So now we have to see this soup. Unbelievable.
This is kabuli. This is zorbia.
This is
Oh wow.
Shower.
Oh la la. Masters of the kitchen. Wow. Also So, having my late night dinner here was a good decision, a good idea. The food is really very good, very delicious, and the camel here tastes like camel, I guess. So it doesn't taste like beef. It doesn't have a very intense taste like mutton, for example. Maybe it's closer to beef, but of course it doesn't taste exactly like beef. Then we have 5 different sauces with it. Then we have some fattoush, so that's salad with deep fried bread dough, more or less, and that comes with lemon juice and pomegranate syrup. Then we have some bread, and that's not really Arabic bread, but more like a roti, Indian roti. And then we have 4 kinds of rice, because I needed to try that, of course. So good. I'm full can be, but of course there's dessert. I cannot leave that out, of course. So, and while waiting for dessert, here's a very local drink, Diet 7-Up. Cheers. I asked for a small portion and I got a whole soup plate of dessert. Well, I'm not sure what it is actually, I just know it tastes really good, of course it does. It's kind of little bread flakes, something like that, and something like condensed milk, but not the one that we know actually in the Western countries. Then honey and black sesame and almonds. Every spoon 1,000 calories. Now after 6 or 7 spoons I realized that's actually shredded roti bread inside. And over that the condensed milk that doesn't taste like our condensed milk, and black sesame, honey and almonds. Our last excursion day of Salalah, we're going to archaeological sites, the desert, to the frankincense trees and to waterfalls. Here in Rori or Sumhuram, you can really feel the breath of antique times. It's so interesting and so nice to see history coming alive, more or less, even though we are in ruins. This city here, or this settlement here, used to be the major export harbor for frankincense in the antique times. From here the frankincense was shipped to the Roman Empire or to Greece, the antique Greece of course, and then the antique India. That was a big empire back then too, or lots of empires actually, in the antique times. And this settlement was founded in the 3rd century before Christ, and it was given up in the 5th century after Christ, because more or less the river mouth into the sea from here got too much sand, so they couldn't go in and out again easily. You have one part of the settlement or of the ruins now that used to be a marketplace, and then you have some residential areas here. Very interesting to see, and I'm completely alone here. This is the small gate where people used to bring the frankincense down to the harbor for shipment. And I mean, this is so incredible. 2000 years people were walking in and out, very busy. And today I'm here 2000 years later. Who would have thought that back then? Anyway, it's so fascinating to see these places, and a gate like this that had so much history. Actually, the stones are breathing history. And in the COVID crisis, I was lucky enough to see some similarly interesting places, such as Mykene or Delphi in Greece, the famous place. And I was there completely alone because nobody was traveling. I was doing all the tests, all the extra measurements, and I went. And that is something I will never forget in my life. Anyway, now we go through this gate. Oh, what a special feeling.
Our next stop is completely different. It's just around the corner, but it feels like 1,000 kilometers away, green and fresh. The actual Wadi Darbat, the valley through which the river flows that joins the sea at the old fortress ruins, with several waterfalls and even paddle boat rentals. In this region, on the edge of the vast Arabian desert, this feels absolutely unreal.
I'm really out of breath now, but we're almost there at the big waterfall of the Wadi Darbat. But look at how nicely everything is kept here. Very, very nice. I just wish I had known that there's actually also parking up here, not only on the foot of the hill where I parked. Would have been so easy. Now, that's a waterfall, isn't it? Isn't it just stunning? Such a beautiful, huge waterfall, and the whole setting here, the whole area is just so beautiful. All the green trees, all the shades of green, and you see birds flying around, and that actually just at the edge of the desert, between the desert and the sea. So impressive. And I mean, you should actually plan some more time than I have. You should plan at least 3 hours actually to have a really good time here. You can take a boat, go a little bit on the wadi. Just on the other side here of the waterfall, there's this wadi desert river where you can rent the boats, and that's really a nice thing to do too. So, what a beautiful place, a land of wonders.
Unfortunately, we don't have the time to fully enjoy all this because there's still a lot to see. So on we go. I want to see frankincense trees, and for that I'm heading towards the desert. On the way to there, let's still make a short stop at the Museum of the Land of Frankincense. The museum isn't just about frankincense, but also about seafaring and trade over the centuries, and it's located in a huge archaeological park, which is also worth seeing.
So here you can see how far history goes back. This is a painting of a moment when the ruler of Oman was introduced to the Emperor of China. The Emperor of China in Beijing in 1050, a Song dynasty emperor.
I'm finally getting close to the frankincense trees. The valuable resin has been traded for thousands of years, and according to the Bible, also the three kings brought the most valuable things to the newborn infant Jesus: myrrh, gold, and frankincense. You won't even have to search for frankincense trees in the Wadi Dawkah, in the semi-desert that starts just after 20 minutes drive from Salalah. Supported by UNESCO, you'll find an entire valley with frankincense trees here.
Well, actually I'm hoping that there's no snakes here or other dangerous animals. And we've made it to the frankincense trees. This is kind of a magic place because frankincense has been used for many thousands of years in households for religious rites, all these things, and it's still in use, especially in this area in households.
Frankincense is not only used in church rites and rituals of other religions, but it's also added to high-quality perfumes all around the world, and especially in this region, it has been used since ever to scent rooms. Simply crushing the leaves in the hand produces already a wonderful fragrance. So now I've finally seen real frankincense trees after years of buying frankincense at the markets in Dubai, Abu Dhabi or Muscat, or online at home. The sun will set in about 2 hours, and that means I'm heading a little further away from the sea. I want to go to where there is nothing, and on the way there it's getting dustier and drier.
Only half an hour after Salalah you're already in the semi-desert, and 10 minutes later you're in the real desert, in the stone desert, and here you get the full heat of this region actually outside Salalah. So it's very hot, the full southern Arabian heat, and you see also the streets. When you look far in front, you don't really see the real shapes of the cars anymore. They're just dissolving in the heat above the streets.
Even though the sun will set soon, I still want to see the beginning of the empty quarter, at least from the distance, the endless sand desert of Arabia, the Rub al-Khali, where there's nothing, before returning to the airport with lots of precious memories. I make it until the village of Shizr, the last place before the vast expanse of the desert. It stands on the remains of a recently rediscovered trading post sunk into the sand, a place that some see as the legendary lost city of Ubar.
And here we are in the empty desert, and just behind me is starting what is called the empty quarter, a huge stretch of desert, sand desert, stone desert like here, huge dunes, and there's nothing except for the desert itself. So that must be a very striking, stunning place that I will probably never see, but I'm sure it's amazing. Salalah is such an amazing place. You get the wadis, you get the waterfalls, you get the most beautiful beaches, you have wonderful water, fresh and nice seawater, you have those archaeological sites, and then you have the frankincense trees and the according markets. There's so much to see, and then of course the desert.
Driving even further towards the empty quarter into the Rub al-Khali can be risky. It should be done on a guided tour, so here's yet another good reason to come back here soon.
So my dear ones, this was the report Salalah, Land of Wonders, one of way over 100 airline and destination reports on my 2 channels. I hope you really liked it. If yes, give me a thumbs up, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. There's really great reports coming up all the time, and you don't want to miss them. I'm pretty sure about that. And the next one you should really watch is this one over here. See you again very soon here at Travel, Sing, Fly.